Hello and welcome back to Law Explained. As promised, here's the video on the European Commission. So in this video I'll be looking at a brief introduction, just looking at what the Commission is, what it does. I'll then be talking about the presidency of the Commission, then the College of Commissioners and the Commission bureaucracy, and just explaining both of those. I'll then be looking at the powers of the Commission and finally looking at the role of the Commission within the Union as a whole. So it's important to understand at the outset, the European Commission, those words, they connote both the College of Commissioners and the Commission bureaucracy, which is based in Brussels. The responsibilities of the Commission are the proposal of legislation, the upholding of treaties, and the implementation of decisions on a very basic level. There's a lot of work that goes into all of those, but in its essence, that's what the Commission does. The President of the Commission is obviously very important, not only as a figurehead, but also in terms of the work that she does. So the President is elected by the European Parliament upon recommendation of the Council since the Treaty of Lisbon. And the President is responsible for the internal organisation of the Commission and the allocation of responsibilities amongst Commissioners. Also in charge of negotiating with the Parliament and the Council in terms of determining the future of the Union, which is very important because it's very much the Commission which is seen as the driving force in the evolution of the Union. So then the College of Commissioners, and I know this is quite a wordy slide, but I wanted to have everything on the slide. If you want to pause, read it, it's quite important, and as well it might be a little complex, so it might be helpful for you to just read it once you've heard me say it. Just to get it in your heads, and it is quite important, especially if you're studying law in Ireland, because they do like to ask about this. So essentially there was a lot of debate, a lot of wrangling about the size of the College of Commissioners. You see, before it was one commissioner per member state, and it was thought that with the enlargement of the Union, it would get more like an assembly rather than actually an effective decision-making body. So Lisbon, we opted to go from one commissioner per member state to a system where we'd have members representing 2/3 of member states. However, obviously it wasn't without controversy. Ireland refused to ratify the Lisbon Treaty until it got certain assurances. So Lisbon, we said we would go to 2/3 of member states, subject to caveat, and that caveat is the commitment to Ireland to retain one member per member state post October 2014, and that was to be reviewed before 2019 or before the accession of the 30th member state, whichever was first. Obviously we never got to 30 member states. 2019 rolled around first, and it was reviewed by the von der Leyen Commission, and the system of one commissioner per state was retained. So that's very important to understand. Maybe pause, just look at it again. That's all I want to say about that, because it is a very important issue to be aware of. So the College of Commissioners are essentially appointees who are suggested by the member states, and the Council then, by common accord with the President of the Commission, adopts a list of the commissioners, which is then subject to European Parliament approval. Removal of individual commissioners is possible for serious misconduct by a decision of the Court of Justice, which can be applied for by the Council. The Commission bureaucracy then is all the people sitting in their offices typing away. This thing that you heard about a lot in Brexit, oh, the Commission, wasting money, doing this and that and the other, and these are these people, the Commission bureaucracy. So they're based in Brussels, and it's a sort of layered structure. So this is a very basic diagram to try and help you understand. So at the top of the pyramid you have a commissioner, but then underneath them you have a director general, maybe a deputy director general, a director, and then a head of division. And these all work to create legislation for a commissioner, to create all the background work, which then flows up to the commissioner. The Commission bureaucracy also works on a number of other things, like enforcing competition law, which I will get into later. There are also units sort of separate to this structure, which provides special services across the board of Commission activities, including the Office Européen de la Lutte Antifraude, OLAF, so that's the European Anti-Fraud Office, the Legal Service and the Audit Service, as well as the Task Force for Relations with the UK now since Brexit. The powers of the Commission then are very important and also have been quite controversial, because the Commission is seen as this body which is unelected and which is controlling everyone. That's the narrative you heard during Brexit anyway. The Commission does have a number of powers. Of legislative nature, it has a monopoly of initiative in the legislative process. So it's only the Commission that can propose legislative measures, which will then go to the Council and the Parliament for approval and then will eventually become law or will not become law. But it's only the Commission that can actually propose legislation. The Commission also develops the overall agenda for a year. It also forms general policy strategies. For example, a white paper on the completion of the internal market, which shaped the Single European Act, that was prepared by the Commission. So you can see how the Commission kind of drives the EU in terms of its evolution. The Commission also has administrative power. It is responsible for administering the policies and the legislation which are enacted, and it does this through shared administration using national agencies. So you'll often hear that, oh, the Commission has done this and the Commission has done that. Well, the Commission doesn't have anyone going around and making sure all these rules and regulations are complied with. The Commission acts through national agencies. The Commission also has judicial power. So Article 17(1) of the Treaty on the European Union says that the Commission shall ensure the application of the treaties and the law made pursuant thereto. So this is very important. This is where you'll see cases in your studies: Commission v France, Commission v United Kingdom. This is where the Commission has brought actions against member states when they're in breach of EU law. Again, important to bear in mind that this is a last resort. The Commission will open dialogue and will try and resolve matters extrajudicially before it will resort to using the court system. You should also be aware, the Commission is reluctant to use this power, especially reluctant when it comes to challenging member state national courts. It will not want to do that, and it very, very rarely has. It's only flagrant breaches of EU law, of the rule of law, in fact, which will bring about a Commission action against a member state, such as the case with Poland or Hungary. Then in certain other areas, the Commission acts as an investigator and an initial judge of treaty violations by both private entities and member states. So this is especially in relation to competition law, as I mentioned, and as well in state aid. And these decisions then are reviewable by the General Court. So, as you can see, the Commission does an awful lot, but what exactly is its role? Well, while it would be incorrect to view the Commission and the Council as being perpetually at odds, it is fair to say that the Commission has been the real engine of integration within the European Union in the face of, let's be honest, quite strong opposition by the Council, who prefers the intergovernmental model. However, there's been a lot of writing recently which is saying that the Commission's power is waning. They citing the small impact the Commission had on the negotiations leading to Nice and to the Constitutional Treaty. But that overlooks the fact that the Commission bureaucracy remains crucial for the functioning of the Union. As well as this, the Commission has also received additional powers to combat the financial crisis. So the Commission remains very, very important, and it obviously still forms an essential part of the legislative process, which is at the centre of everything. So some people are saying the Commission has had its day. It definitely hasn't. It's perhaps not as much in the driving seat as it used to, but it is still undoubtedly crucial to the European Union. In terms of exam questions then, the only really common one you're going to see which involves a Commission is one about legislation. It's about the co-decision procedure, and I will be bringing out a video on that if you would like to check it out. But it is always important, regardless, to understand just what the commission is doing in the background, because without that you won't be able to understand the law surrounding it more generally.